You finished another AI course, downloaded the certificate, closed the tab. Back to work. You know how to write a precise prompt. Tasks that used to take an hour now take 10 minutes. In meetings, you sound sharper. On paper, you improved. And yet, a year ago, you felt like you were building an edge. Today, it feels like you're just keeping up. And that shouldn't be the case, because if I'm better at the tool, why don't I feel more essential? This isn't a question of motivation. It's not a question of effort. It's a quieter question. What am I actually measuring? Because if everyone around me is improving at the same thing, maybe the problem isn't my pace. Maybe I'm investing in a metric that no longer creates advantage. And that's the gap almost nobody notices, until it's already too late.
Before we begin, if you value quiet, thoughtful content like this, subscribing helps this channel grow and makes it possible to keep creating videos without noise or hype. Thank you for being here. Now, let's begin.
Because everything around you says the path is clear. Learn the tool, master it, be faster than everyone else. That's how it has always worked. Whoever was more skilled moved ahead. Whoever was more efficient got more responsibility. Whoever produced more stayed essential. So it makes sense that you invest there. Another course, another improvement, another new version you learn quickly. And it feels responsible. When you generate a precise result in seconds, there's a satisfaction. When others are still struggling with phrasing and you've already finished the task, there's a sense of advantage. But here's the quiet illusion. If everyone is improving the same skill, is anyone actually creating an edge? If everyone is faster, does speed still differentiate? The problem isn't that you improved. The problem is that capability has become the standard. And when something becomes the standard, it no longer creates leverage. And the real question begins here. If it's not tool capability, then where is advantage actually created today? The shift didn't happen in a single day. You didn't receive an email announcing it. There wasn't a meeting where someone said, "From now on, it's different." You just started noticing something small. In meetings, everyone shows up with a polished document. Everyone has insights generated with AI. Everyone sounds clear. 2 years ago, that stood out. Today, it's expected. It's no longer a strength, it's a baseline requirement. And the real gap moved somewhere else. Think about a moment when someone in the room says one sentence and suddenly everyone turns toward them. Not because they wrote better, not because their output was cleaner, but because they saw something earlier. Leverage is no longer created by execution speed. It's created by early recognition. And if you're still measuring yourself by how fast you produce, you might be improving the floor while the ceiling has already moved up a level. And that's the exact shift most people feel, but still don't know how to name. So if leverage is no longer created by execution speed, where is it created? It's created one moment earlier, before you write the prompt, before you open the document, before anyone even asks you for something. Think about two people in the same role. Both of them know how to use the tool, both of them produce clean results, both of them meet the deadline. One waits for clear instructions and then executes perfectly. The other walks into the meeting and says, "We're solving the wrong problem." The room pauses, not because he was faster, not because his presentation looked better, but because he recognized it earlier. And that's the gap most people don't measure. Most people improve execution, few improve discernment. And as the tools become more powerful, that gap grows. Because when production becomes easy for everyone, advantage shifts to the one who directs it, not the one who executes the fastest. And if you're still investing most of your energy in becoming better at the tool, you may be becoming more efficient, but not more essential. And the market rewards those who recognize movement before it becomes obvious to everyone else. That's where real advantage begins.
If this feels familiar so far, not as information, but as something you've been dealing with, we keep a growing collection of prompts, tools, and simple frameworks designed to help you think more clearly, start more easily, and work better in this environment. We add to it over time. Nothing overwhelming, just practical resources you can return to when you need them. If you want access, you will find it in the description. Now, let's continue.
And this is where most people make a quiet mistake. They sense that something is shifting, and they respond by learning more. Another tool, another update, another technique, and it feels responsible. But the new advantage doesn't come from more technical knowledge. It comes from the ability to pause one moment before everyone else, before execution begins, before production starts, and to ask, what is actually about to shift here, and who is already positioned for it? Most people move straight into execution. Few stop to observe. And when execution becomes easy for everyone, observation becomes rare. When someone recognizes the right movement early, they're not necessarily working harder, they're simply positioning themselves differently. And when you're positioned correctly, even a small move creates outsized impact. Efficiency saves time. Positioning creates power. And the moment you realize that advantage is no longer about speed, but about early recognition, you stop chasing every update, and you begin asking a different question entirely. Where do I want to be when everyone else finally sees it later? That's where real leverage begins. Most people feel behind because they're watching how fast others produce. But speed no longer creates advantage. Someone who improves at the tool alone may feel secure while missing where everything is moving. Because leverage didn't disappear, it simply moved. And the moment you notice that, something aligns. You stop asking how to be faster, you start asking where to be earlier. You stop chasing every update, you begin recognizing movement sooner. And it's a quiet shift. Not dramatic, not external, just one realization. If everyone can execute, advantage belongs to the one who recognizes before they execute. Not because they're smarter, not because they work harder, but because they see earlier. And in a world moving this fast, seeing earlier is the only advantage that doesn't erode. If this idea shifted something in your perspective, save this video. Come back to it in a few months and see what you're measuring. And in the next episode, we go one layer deeper. Not how to use AI better, but how to stay visible in a world where everyone already does. Because the line between being efficient and being unseen is thinner than it looks.
If you made it this far, it means this topic matters to you. In the next video, we continue building on this with clearer understanding, practical perspective, and ideas you can actually use. Following the channel really helps us keep developing content like this and adding more resources over time. The next video continues from here. You can watch it now.